Planet Earth. We are entirely dependent on what this planet gives us. Nature makes oxygen from the CO2, the carbon dioxide, that humans produce. This process keeps us alive. After all, we can only breathe if we have enough oxygen. Nature has given us three important allies in this process. Every tree and plant uses sunlight to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. This is called photosynthesis. Until recently, most of our oxygen came from the rainforests. At present, about 70% of our oxygen comes from the ocean. The ocean contains tiny plants called phytoplankton. Just like the trees and plants on land, phytoplankton absorbs carbon dioxide and uses light to convert it into oxygen. We have recently discovered that fish also play a very important role in absorbing carbon dioxide. This prevents the ocean from becoming acidic from the CO2. But now there is an abnormally high level of CO2 production. Over the past 70 years, the world's population has jumped from about 2 billion people to over 7 billion people. Normally, the planet would be able to handle this increase by itself, but now our allies are under threat. The rainforests are disappearing at an incredible rate of 1 hectare or 1 football field every second. According to a recent study, the phytoplankton in some areas of the ocean has decreased by 40%. And in Europe alone, 90 fish species are threatened with extinction. There are hardly any fish left compared to 70 years ago. How have we let it get this far? Why are greenhouse gas emissions so high, and what can we do about it? You would think that most emissions come from cars, trains, ships and planes, but the greatest cause of greenhouse gas emissions comes from an unexpected source: the high demand for meat and fish. The combined emissions from all motorized vehicles on Earth generate less greenhouse gas emissions than the meat and fishing industries together. One of the reasons is the amount of methane that cows produce. Methane is 21 times more toxic to our climate than CO2. The meat industry is the #1 cause of the destruction of the rainforest and the primary cause of the extinction of animal species, dead zones in the ocean and pollution in water. It takes billions of animals to satisfy the enormous demand for meat. These animals eat about 8 times more food than human beings, and growing this food takes a lot of space. Huge tracts of rainforests are cut down to make space for grass meadows and soybean and corn plantations. Each tree in the rainforest can absorb tons of CO2, and we lose this with every tree that is felled. The enormous CO2 production causes the ocean to become acidic and the phytoplankton to gradually die. Everything that contains calcium carbonate dissolves. This includes the calcium carbonate skeletons of animal and plant plankton, the base of the food chain in the ocean. But it also includes other species, such as shellfish and coral. The fish that would normally slow down this process have disappeared. Decades of overfishing has pushed almost every species of fish to the brink of extinction. Apart from the effect that our choice of food has on our health, it also has a huge impact on our environment and on the ocean. Many studies have shown that the meat and fishery industries are the biggest cause of environmental destruction. The solution is not that hard. If we want to save our ocean, the environment, the climate and our own health, we need to radically change our meat and fish consumption. If everyone avoided eating meat or fish for 2 or 3 days a week, this would drastically reduce the demand for meat and fish and give the Earth time to recover. Save the ocean, save the environment, save the climate, and eat yourself healthy. Eat less meat and fish. The best would be to eat no meat or fish at all.